Honorable Mayor and City Council members, I am Steve Howlett, Assistant Public Works Director, and this item is the Golf Operations Year-End Final Report and Fiscal Year 24-25 Budget Appropriations. Recommendation: that the City Council approve and authorize an appropriation in the amount of up to $280,838 for additional fiscal year 2024-25 expenses from the Golf Course Operating Fund. Background: the City of Oxnard owns the River Ridge Golf Club Golf Operations, a municipal golf course under the supervision of the Public Works Department. The golf operations consists of two 18-hole golf courses, which are currently operated under contract by American Golf Corporation, or AGC. AGC was awarded a 5-year management agreement that began on July 1st, 2019, and with approved extensions ended on June 30th, 2025. A new 5-year agreement beginning on July 1, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2030, with an option for another 5-year extension, was approved by the City Council on May 6, 2025. The original fiscal year 24-25 golf operations budget projected $6,146,450 in revenues and $5,137,191 in expenses. On December 17th, 2024, the City Council approved a second amendment to the golf management agreement with AGC to extend the agreement term to June 30th, 2025, in order to have the end of the fiscal year coincide with the end of the old contract. Additionally, the City Council approved an additional $353,550 for projected increased revenues and $662,890 for projected increased expenses. Therefore, the revised budget was $6,500,000 in revenues and $5,800,081 in expenses. The reason for the increase in expenses was for the replacement of the bridge on hole number 18 and the unplanned replacement of the entire irrigation control system due to a power surge from Southern California Edison while performing repairs in the area. A claim was submitted to Southern California Edison, but was denied because of the age of the irrigation system. Discussion: staff and AGC are closing the fiscal year 24-25 golf operations budget with $6,080,919 in actual expenses and $6,705,636 in projected revenues. Since the revised expense budget was $5,800,081 in appropriation from the golf fund balance in the amount not to exceed $280,838 is necessary to close the fiscal year. Expenses: the final expenses of the golf operations for fiscal year 24-25 are $6,080,919. This is $280,838 higher than the revised projection of $5,800,081. The $662,890 for additional expenses, which was approved on December 17th, 2024, was an estimate for the replacement for the bridge and irrigation control systems. However, the final cost of the bridge and irrigation control system was $849,141. This is $186,251 more than the estimated $662,890. Additionally, the golf course operations incurred additional expenses for AQMD compliance for equipment, landfill compliance, irrigation pump repairs, and elevator replacement that were not anticipated and therefore not included in the original or mid-year budget adjustment in December of 24. AGC informed staff about the additional unforeseen capital expenses after the December 17th, 2024 budget. Instead of bringing another estimated budget adjustment back to the City Council, AGC worked to absorb the unplanned capital costs in the operation budget. Staff also decided to wait until the end of the fiscal year to comprise all final expenses, including the end-of-year incentive fee, to determine if an appropriation is necessary. At the end of fiscal year 24-25, the final expenses equal $6,080,919, and therefore an appropriation of $280,838 from the golf course operating fund is necessary to close out the fiscal year. To prevent future unforeseen capital projects from impacting the golf operations budget, Article 10 in the new 2025 agreement is revised from the previous agreement to provide the option for AGC to perform capital improvement projects that are outside of the golf operations budget or the annual plan upon written approval by the city. The golf course capital improvement projects are funded with available funds in the golf fund balance. Revenues. The projected revenues for the golf operations for fiscal year 24-25 are $6,705,636. This is $205,636 higher than the revised projection of $6,500,000 and is $353,550 higher than the original projections of $6,146,450. The actual revenues are still to be confirmed by AGC and verified by the city to also include earned interest. The revenues for this fiscal year were likely negatively impacted compared to the previous year due to the replacement of the bridge and the irrigation control system, resulting in a reduction of the number of rounds played. Financial impact. There is no impact to the general fund. The appropriation of $280,838 from available reserves in the golf course operating fund is necessary to close out the fiscal year. For fiscal year 24-25, the total operation expenses were $6,080,919, and the total gross revenues are projected to be $6,705,636. This concludes the staff report, and staff is available if you have any questions. Thank you.